10 minutes, and we have 15 minutes to ask them questions regarding their presentation. So I think we have the lead team, we have Oladayo Popola representing them, and I think I saw Kolako on the call. But I think Oladayo is taking the session, so you can start out.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon as well. I mean, wherever you're joining in from the early part of the world. My name is Oladayo, and I'll be spending the next 10 minutes telling you about our journey so far at Leave It. And I'll be sharing my screen if that's okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now.
Hey.
Good afternoon. So I'll be telling you, I hope everyone can see my screen now. Right.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. So Kolakwa and myself started Leave It about 2 years ago. And the reason was just simply because we wanted to improve the experiences that people have at events. The Eureka moment.
Am I the only one that can't hear Oladayo?
Not just
I
you.
know it was my network. I can't hear you too.
Yeah, the network is wonderful today. That's all I can say.
Oladayo, are you still there? I can see you speaking, but we can't hear you. Few minutes to reconnect. I think you left the call already. We're really sorry about this. I think it's just network issues, and I'm trying to get. Okay. Oladayo, I can see you're back.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Right. Sorry, typically light doesn't go off here, but somehow as I started speaking, light went off and my internet went out. I'm so sorry. I would start all over again. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. Right. So, Kola, I'm going to try and be fast because I know now I've taken about 2-3 minutes to join back. So, Kolapo and I started Leave It about 2 years plus ago. And the reason was because we wanted to improve and upscale event experience. The Eureka moment for us started when I was invited to my cousin's wedding. And then I was given about 10 different invites to then redistribute to, other people that would be attending that event. Because of my work, I had to use dispatch to distribute these invites, and I ended up spending 26,000 naira of my money, giving different dispatch riders to then distribute these invites across Lagos. At that point, I didn't realize that there has to be a better way of doing things, and the part where we continue to print the invites and then redistribute was unscalable, because that moment I realized that it cost about 4 times the cost of printing to then distribute the invites. That's where the idea for Leave It itself, started. And Leave It itself is your complete event management and experience solution. So for your guests, we're able to manage your guest experience and events as well. The problem that we're really solving, I can categorize them in 3 different parts. The first is basically there's rising cost for events due to hyperinflation that we're seeing in the country. In fact, if you then ask for cost for an event right now, the cost would be changing every 2 weeks, because costs are just rising due to hyperinflation in the country, and everybody wants to reduce cost. The second problem is gate crashing itself, which can be linked to cost as well. So what we're seeing and what we're hearing from the market is that there is increased gate crashing because people are just hungry and they're just trying to get into any events to just try and get food. And so again, that's a big problem that we're seeing with private events right now in the market. And the third problem that we're solving as well is the experience problem. So right now you see people do events, and then you then start to hear things like, the pictures that you posted on WhatsApp, on Instagram, can you please send it to me? I like those pictures and things like that. There is no way to basically just share the experiences amongst the guests that have basically attended this event right now. And these are the problems that we're currently seeing in the market. So what are we doing at Leave It? One is cheaper cost. We're able to deliver invites right now at 10% of the cost of printing and distributing invites. 10%. We're able to, deliver invites, unique invites at 10% of the cost of printing and distribution. We eliminate gate crashing through our foolproof access management solution, and then we help you distribute experiences, videos, photos with your guests with the product right now. The best part is that it's eco-friendly, so we're helping the environment in this process as well. The product itself is built into two different pillars. One is invitations and the other is experience. I'm going to talk about invitations a bit and talk about experience a bit. Under invitations, we're able to deliver unique invites to customers via text message, WhatsApp, and a voice call in your own voice. Say, for instance, we send a text message, we send a WhatsApp, and we send the call as well. Then we help with metrics as well. So we're able to let you know who has read the message, who has not read the message, who has accepted the invite, who has not accepted the invite, how many of them did we reach, how many of them didn't we reach, how many of them have declined, acceptance, declined the invite, how many of them have basically just pending right now. The other thing we do on the invitation side is also reminders. So we help you send reminders. We send 3 different reminders for every event. We send 1 reminder a week to the event. We send 1 a day before the event, and we send 1 on the day of the event at 8 o'clock. The other third thing on the invite side is then access management. So we're able to then help you with access management as well. Under access management, we're able to verify that every guest that was invited to that event is able to get access to that event. And we do this using very unique access code, which is sent and tied to every invite. The second part of our product is the experience part, and I think is even the best part of the product, judging by customer feedback. The experience part ensures that we allow customers basically share photo. So the photo sharing itself happens in 3 different parts. One is the one that the official photographer and videographer basically just uploads at the end of the event itself. The second one is the one that you share pre the event. So pre-wedding pictures, pre-birthday pictures, or maybe if someone is deceased, pictures that show the lifetime of that person, right? The second thing we don't do with that picture is that we're able to create a unique album for every individual that attended that event. Using artificial intelligence, if you just upload a selfie of yourself, we're able to scan through all of the pictures in that particular event and then create an album based on every way that you appeared for you, right? And that's your own personalized album. The third thing we do as well on the experience side is, gifting is something we're still working on. It's not ready yet. Every other thing I've spoken about is currently on the product. We help you, then send post events thank you messages, which can even be a video of you saying, I really appreciate you coming to my event yesterday. Thank you so much. And you could do a video message that we're able to deliver to all your guests, and you're able to get delivery report of all of this as well. The business model is really simple. It's pay as you go. We charge 40 cents per invite sent. So if you have an event with 800 people or 500 people, for instance, we'll charge you $200. We've gotten feedback as well that from about 3 of our customers saying that our price point is really low, but it's something that we're looking at increasing in the next couple of weeks and months ahead. But currently it's 40 cents per invite. Right. Market size. So we know that in Lagos, about 20,000 events happen in Lagos alone. And we're not stupid. We know that all of these events cannot be events that you need invites to attend. So what we've done to determine the market size is to say only 40% of these events would require invites. And then we'll multiply that number of events by the average cost of distributing and printing invites. That gives us 168 million in terms of market size in Lagos alone. If you extrapolate that for Nigeria, it's $1 billion, and it's an industry that is growing at 23%, CAGR year on year, between 2021 and 2028. We've got competitors, but there's nobody doing integrated service like we are doing. So you get people doing invites, but people doing invites and experience, we're the only ones that we know so far. However, I think that our biggest competitor is still Fiscal Invites and Access Card, based on. Not like I think. Our biggest competitors are still Fiscal Invites and Access Card, because even in markets outside of Nigeria, it's the biggest. It's the largest way that people distribute Fiscal Invites. I should also say that the product itself is market agnostic, so it's something that we can expand to different markets, just by switching on a new country. The product itself, leave it, is the competitive advantage that is integrated. So you've got experience, you've got table management, you've got photo sharing, you've got access management, everything in one app, right? And the other advantage that we have is that other people doing this use emails as a primary source of contact. So, I have a lot of friends, but I do not have their emails. But one thing I do have is their phone numbers, and we're able to deliver this via WhatsApp. And what we see is about a 30% acceptance rate in less than 10 minutes when we send invites, because people are generally and almost always on their mobile phones, right? Our roadmap, we started out with a prototype in February of 2022, testing out a public event. We probably started building about 5 months before then. From then on, it took us a bit of time to get a private event. For the public events, we're able to pay someone to use our product to test out. But for private events like weddings, and it was more difficult, you had to do a lot of selling to have someone trust us for their big day. And luckily, we're able to get that in June. And if you see what we've done between June and May of 2023, we then went back to build a product. So we had insights from public events and private events, but we then decided to focus on private events. I'll probably share reasons after this speech, because I only have 10 minutes and I'm just trying to rush through this, reasons why. But we started with private events, and then we then took about a year to build our MVP. So we built out our private event MVP by May of 2023. By the way, we're still going back to public events later, but for now, private events. So May of 2023, we had our MVP. By June, by June, we had our first paying customer. By November, we had distributed 6,000 invites. By March of this year, we had done 14,000 invites. By June of this year, that's the end of last month, we had done 25,000 invites. We've processed 25,000 invites. So financials, we're trying to raise $60,000 to enable us reach $10,000 in average monthly revenue by April of next year. We want to use this money to do 2 major things. One is to build a solution for conferences. So as we're doing social events, so right now we do social events alone, funerals, birthdays, and weddings. We've done a bit of conferences, one for LBS, one for a couple of foundations as well. But what we'll see is that the requirements for conferences, and we're able to charge them higher than what we charge for social events. And their requirements are things that do not really fit into what social events need, including just being able to print access tag for the events with people's customized names and things like that. So we kind of have a vision of how to deliver that product, whereby it's self-service and it's easy to use. We're already even working on it. But to be able to deliver it, we would need money to do this. We also then need to, improve our marketing. So when we say marketing, it's more like testimonial marketing. So a lot of people, right now, we get all of our customers from referrals. I would say 90% of our customers come from referrals. So you do an event, you get someone gets every guest that gets attended that attends an event is a potential customer for us. So if you do an event, for instance, say I do an event and I invited 500 people. 500 people, because our product is an experienced product, they've experienced the product, and out of that 500 we'll get 1 or 2 people that would have an event that will call us again. And that's essentially how we've been building the product. We've not spent money on marketing, but right now we think that we've been able to get enough customers that will be able to give us testimonials, whereby we can try and then use it to grow our marketing as well. We'd also do a bit of digital marketing as well, but also we want to improve the social product as well, build out the other parts of the components that we've envisioned for the product, and finish that part. The product is as well, there's a component about the environment and what we're doing for the environment. For every 2,000 invites we send out, we're saving 1 tree. And I should also talk about carbon emission. The fact that we're not using dispatches, distributing invites across the country, across the world, or even just mailing it in America using US postal services, we're saving about 2 tons of CO2 emissions, just doing this. The founders, so myself and Kolapo, we had started a company before now. We had started a company called Livy. So Livy was a virtual reality streaming platform that we had started in 2018. I think that we were way ahead of the cover at that point. We signed checks for 100K, but the money didn't come, and the company failed, unfortunately. But then I went on to ULesson from then on, where I rose to become, when I left ULesson, I was national sales manager. Then I moved to Teachmint, where I left as a country sales manager for Nigeria as well. Kolako himself, leave it at 4. Sorry?
Your time is already up.
This is my last slide. Just 30 seconds and I'm done. This is my last slide. 30 seconds, I'm done. Kolako himself, is a software developer. He's worked at the Irish firm ECI. He's worked at Zoom as well, as a senior developer, product developer. And just to conclude, and I know my 10 minutes is up. Just to conclude, Kolakwa and myself, we've got the expertise to be able to build a solid business. We've already built a solid product, and our customers will testify to that. And our bootstrapped this company to 25,000 users already, and we've built a solid product, and we need your help to be able to build a solid business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oladayo. Thank you for that presentation. So yes, we have the next 15 minutes to ask Oladayo any question regarding this product.
Hi, I don't know if you guys can hear me, and I'm keeping my video off. My name is Ola, I'm the founder of the club. Thank you so much for your time, Oladayo. I would just like to know, right? Why did you go with private? I was curious to hear why you started off with private, and also your pricing. How do you actually, how has the revenue been in actual conversion?
All right, excellent question. So I'll start with the revenue part. For revenue, on average this year, we're doing about $1,000. When I say $1,000, dollars at 8,500. So it's, Nigeria, the rates, God knows, sometimes. We're doing about $1,000 a month in revenue right now. For
Sorry,
pricing,
can you break that down? Sorry, can you break down how you get
right,
that the revenue? What is making it happen?
So when you say what is making it happen, can you maybe
what I
explain?
mean by that is, so we generally have 500 people. We're having on average 500 people pay this amount for this, and so it brings us
Right.
to this amount.
Right. On average per event, we're seeing about 500 people per event on average. Pay us 500 naira. Certain people get a discount lower than that. So the price point right now is 500 naira. So certain people get in naira, that is. So certain people get a discount lower than that. So we're able to generate that per event that we do. and then we do about 5 events a month. So that gives us around what's the name? 1.5 million roughly revenue. Does this work for you?
Yes, yes. I just wanted to understand that. Yeah. And then the other question was around private.
Right. So the reason why we started with private was two things. One was that we realized that for public events, to be able to deliver a unique experience, we had to focus more on the experience part than the invitation, the ticketing process itself, because ticketing itself is a solution, is something that has been solved for already. So our extra was the experience part. And for us to be able to deliver the experience part, we then needed two things. One, go ahead and compete with companies that had raised a lot of money and were already established in the market. That's one part of it. And then we then realized that because people were not aware of, or people do not even understand that you could actually have experience with an event, because it was not something that was in the market. It was more difficult to convince people for public events because you're paying for a concert. It's not something that you're looking forward to. But for a private event, there's a more emotional glue to want to have experiences. And that was our feedback. That was the feedback that we had in 2022. So for public events, we're seeing that people were nonchalant about experiences. But for private events, even from the host, it was so important to them. And it then made sense for us to start from the private side. And then, maybe in a year's time, we can then come in and solve for the public event side, especially when more people have used our product and they understand the importance of experience.
Okay, got it. Does anyone have any questions? Want to unmute their mics to speak? Because I've not seen any questions. I
I
don't know if
can
there are any
see
questions that I missed out. Okay.
Hi.
all right, I can see two questions in the chat, and I think one person is
Yeah.
someone is asking the current
What-
valuation. So sorry, Omolade. I'm so sorry. Please
No
let me
worries,
just.
no worries. Carry on. I'll wait.
All right. So someone is asking for the current valuation, and it has $60K for what stake? What percentage stake?
Right. So excellent question. So this is our first time actually raising external money. To be able to get the product to where it is right now, myself and Kolapo entirely bootstrapped the company, putting in our own savings into it. And it was very important for us because it was the experience that we learned from the failure of our initial startup that we had together. Was that it's easier to raise money when people see decent traction. So what we then did was putting our savings into this. So this particular round is safe. We're not determining the evaluation at this particular point. But the goal is to then be able to do a price round sometimes next year.
All right. Thank you. Please, Omolade, you can ask your question now.
Oh, thank you. Hi. My question, I like the idea. Good afternoon. I like the idea. It's a great idea. And you're honing in on the fact that it's a unique experience. My question is how or what will you do to keep this unique to you? Like, what is the possibility of the idea being stolen by somebody else and regenerated by somebody else?
So I think that the world has really evolved. I think that every idea can be regenerated. I mean, I think right now, if you want to create Facebook, you could create it if you wanted to. I think that two things are very important. One is the early to market, what the first to market with this product. The second thing is the team itself that is executing on this. With little or no money, we've been able to come this far. So the guarantee is that I am sure that the team that will also build around us as well will continue to execute it and will do this better than everybody else. But I think that in terms of people coming into the market, having, copying the product, I don't think that we can stop that. I think it will take them time though. But the main advantage that we have is that, being forced to market, having a team, to be able to execute this better than everyone else.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Napa, you can ask your question.
Yeah. So thank you for the presentation, Olada, and well done to you and the team. Quick question around any advanced tech in your stack. There's a lot of focus on AI, facial recognition. Is there anything interesting that is in your platform that you can share?
So my CTO is here. Kolapo is just going to answer that. Is your camera on? Huh? No, just turn on your camera. I'm just talking. Yeah.
Hi guys. Well, so in terms of interesting technology, so as Dio mentioned, one of the really cool things that we do with experience is the use of artificial intelligence to help you curate a very unique album to you, right? So we do that using models, right? The same type that you use for the LLMs that we have right now. So we have the artificial intelligence to help you create. We also have machine learning to help you understand, to help event hosts, really understand things like messaging, like for instance, the delivery message that we send out. So apart from sending out these WhatsApp messages, we can also be able to allow you curate your delivery reports. That's also is something that we're bringing in. And also further down the line, we are also looking at bringing in facial recognition for you to ensure that your access on the day of the event is totally fail-proof. So we have Living the Gates where you scan your face and in sub 5 seconds it opens the door for you. So that in itself would totally eliminate human input in that access process. So these are the kind of things that we're bringing in. And also going forward, yeah, we have a lot of other cool text that we're also trying to add to Live It. On the surface of it, Live It looks like a really easy to use tool, but the sort of experience that we are bringing into Live It, especially with the kind of tech that is behind it, makes it really, really usable. And then also, part of what made this very possible is because while after we did Livy, right, and then we had to pivot, I went for my master's and and it was in computer vision. So I really dug deep into understanding the models of how to build these LLMs that are used for image classifications, and also very sophisticated ones also that would use in the future for the machine learning that would really power Live It into becoming more or less the operating system of events in the future.
And just to add to that on the commercial side, so what we tend to do with public events in the future when we finally branch into public events is the fact that you could just buy a ticket and you have a selfie uploaded, and on the day of the event you just walk in through turnstiles with your face scan and you walk into the event. It's access in 5 seconds. It's not something that we have not even done. We've tried it out with public events as a test and it works like magic. In fact, we've tried it with private events as well.
All right, thank you. Olayemi, I saw your hand was raised earlier. Okay, I think she has dropped the question in the chat. Instead, I still don't get what the 60K will be used for. It was quite vague. So $60K. Will you try to explain more on that?
Absolutely. So right now, I think our team is, we have a team of 5 people. Kolapo and myself. We have 2 developers and 1 person on customer service. Right. It's not the team to scale a company, the kind of size that we're thinking about. So we first of all need to expand that team. Right. On the development side, to be able to have enough developers to be able to then produce the products that we need to be able to reach what our goals are. Right, to reach what our goals are. The other thing is then we need to spend some money on marketing. So right now we're not doing any marketing. All of our conversions are organic. That's also not scalable. So we need to ensure that more people know about our products. So we need to basically invest in marketing. We need to basically expand the team. And what we can do is we can send you a cash flow document that shows exactly how this money will be spent over the period of time as well.
All right, thank you. Omalade, please, you can ask your question.
Hi, sorry, I had a random thought. What do you do with regards to like privacy of all the pictures and stuff that you are sending around? And is there a time frame, for instance, of how long you hold on to that data or people's personal data?
Right. Kolako is
Yeah,
going to take this.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. On the platform itself, we allow event owners to decide how long they want us to keep the images for, and that on its own entails, adds a bit of cost, for them. So if they do 1 year, we do that for free. If they decide that they want to keep those images for 10 years, we add a bit of cost on that. And then for the users themselves, right, we have a way where if they want us to wipe all of their data, right, for one, we don't share this information with anybody. Even the images that we use, right, it's actually not the images themselves that we use to do all of the artificial intelligence computation that we do, right? It's just more or less like fingerprinting on that image, right? So it's not as if we keep the image themselves. It's the fingerprint that we keep after processing each image that we use for the computations. And then again, as I said, we give each user the ability to say wipe down all of my data, and then we get that done for them. So we because obviously, as Dio said, this is market agnostic. Apart from working in Nigeria, we also envision ourselves, working in Europe, working in the US, and we know how strict the GDPR is in EU. So we are already at this point ensuring that we are in a place where we are compliant with all of those data privacy laws around the world.
And just to make it less technical, fingerprinting just means the distance between your eyes and ear. So it's not really your face. We don't really need your face. It's just
we don't really keep the actual image.
Yeah.
So once we get all of the computations we need on that, then we don't really require money. But also then the vectors that we get that we can always wipe that out based on user request.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so we have 2 questions in the chat, and I'll quickly read them. Tony said, "Who are your competitors? And what's your 5-year goal and exit plan, if any?"
Right. Thank you so much for that question. So our competitors, you can look at them in 2 different ways. The traditional competitors and the modern competitors. The traditional competitors, it's still the biggest competitor for us. It's paper invite and access card. That's really who we're competing against. And the good thing is that we're cheaper than it. We cost about 10% of the cost of printing and distributing physical invites and cards, right? So that's the initial competition. In terms of, and I can share my screen again and just talk you through some of the competitors that we currently see in the market. And if you just wait a second, I'm just sharing my screen. Right. So for public events, so Tix Africa, which is a local competitor here, they only do public events. Eventbrite, they do public and private events, but we're better suited for private events than they are because their private event solution is basically in line with emails. It uses emails to work. RSVPify, another American solution, Splash that as well, American solution. Greenvelope, they do offline and online, another American solution. They all basically also align with emails as well. Paperless Post as well, American solution, also email oriented. So these are the competition. This is what the competition looks like, but the biggest competitors are still access card and physical invites.
All right, thank you so much, Oladayo. I think we've spent way past the time allocated to you, and I think we still have questions. So let's just take it in 2 minutes max. Someone says, please, can you repeat what stake you are offering for the 60K? I missed this when you responded earlier, and you mentioned that you generate about 500 naira from one invite. So I'm wondering how you intend to cover the cost of your solution and the cost of managing. Then you didn't speak about the exit plan.
Right. Thank you so much for these questions. I'm going to start from the end, the last question. So yeah, we charge 500 naira per invite. But the good thing is that our margins are 80%. It costs us about 20%, of 500 naira to be able to deliver this solution. So the reason why I'm starting with this is that it takes you to the exit plan. First of all, it then means that this is a product that can be a company that can become profitable very quickly, right? Because it was very cash generative. We are able to retain in gross margins about 80% of the revenues that we make, right? The good thing, so if we keep expenses low as a company, we're able to basically be profitable, over time. That's one way. The second way is then we can definitely exit this company. On the public event side, you've got companies like Light Nation that can buy us one day. On the private event side, you have even Eventbrite that can buy our solution as well. So there is potential for exit, and there is also there's potential for exit, and then there is also, sorry, I'm reading the new questions jumping in, so you messed up my train of thought. Then there's also a profitability offering as well. The second thing here is what stake are you offering for the 60K? So right now it's safe. It's a safe investment. So it's not a price round because it's the first time we're raising money. So we're not doing a price round right now. So next year we'll be doing a price round. And at that point, a stake evaluation will be determined. Happy to send my, what our safe document looks like right now, including our post-money evaluation, which is $2 million. So I can send that, after this call. Then there's something saying, okay, sorry. All right.
Sorry,
Okay.
Olada, we need to cut you short now. Sorry.
Not a
Sorry
problem.
about that. We need to cut
Not a
you short
problem.
now. Yes. Thank
All right.
you.
If I can end by saying that there is a link, if you want to just try out the product and just understand how it works, there is a link just for you to be able to get a sample invite, and you just understand the invite process, and then you can send us questions via email. We're happy to answer them. Thank you so much for your time.
All
So I'll be
right.
dropping
Thank
off
you
now.
so much, Oladayo. Yeah, you can drop off. Please feel free to drop off the call.
Sorry, I had to cut it short because we have what's it called? We have other people, and that's how we just begin to eat into. So we will be sticking to our time slots for the other people, else we'll bust the time, right? But the reason why we gave like a window which we're supposed to use for people to actually discuss within the club, right, about it before we move to the next opportunity. So I don't know if what people think about it, if it's something that we should pursue or it sounds interesting. It would just be good to have that press whatever to know whether we're taking the conversation forward or we should just dead it immediately. Omeza, let me look at the people that had questions. Olayemi, Tony, what are your thoughts, Jolomi? You probably have like maybe 2-3 minutes to discuss your thoughts, your reservations, your doesn't really jive. Please quickly.
I think it's interesting, but I'm like the novice there is. But from my point of view, I think there's a possibility for growth. So, yeah.
Thanks for
I think
that
it's a good
one.
opportunity, and it's worth looking into a bit more.
Okay, what would you be looking? What would be your bit more? Like, what would you dig deeper into?
Yeah, so for me, he's saying that he's generating margins of 80%. How is that possible? Is it a free solution? Is it a free solution that his whole product is based upon? Is what looking into, and then it will be nice to see the other applications that that are behind his solution. Like, is it WhatsApp? You just
Yeah, he mentioned
and then,
WhatsApp at one point.
yes. Then I'm
And
also
text.
thinking it sounds like a lot of his cost is not really being tracked, because I think there's a lot of costs that is not being tracked. So I mean, there are a lot of questions
Yeah.
to ask. Yeah, so it's interesting solution worth looking into a bit more.
Okay, gotcha. Anybody else? Anyone else? But we are the next set of people in. Ready? On standby.
No, they are not. I want to call her now.
Oh, okay. Okay, please do. Please do. Waiting for that. I feel it's little or no moat around the business to defend. Yes. It seems like it's the entry. What's it called? What they call that thing? Ease of entry is quite Okay, no wahala. The ease of competition, like it's easy for people to get into that space once they see that it is working, and there's nothing to stop people from. You can't stop them. There's nothing. Yeah, that's actually a valid point also. So I'll take it that people are interested if they can get their questions answered, or if you can see a strategy around. Because I mean, if there's nothing, what's it called? If there's nothing putting a hedge around it, if that's the word, right? Then we probably would be considering the condition will be around speed. Hey, okay. The condition will be around speed, like how quickly, how you get that first mover advantage where everybody knows you as the person to go to for this, and you get all the market. So maybe that's really what we should be looking out for. Okay, up to the next.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Joy. You're welcome. So we have Joy, the founder of Zuri and Imani, actually pitching our idea right now. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
cool.
You're
All
welcome.
right. I start now. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm trying to make it big. All right. Let's just start. Hi, my name is Joy, and I'm sorry. Okay. My name is Joy, and I'm the CEO of Zuri and Imani. So did you know that African prints are not Ankara and not designed by African or produced in Africa? No. So how did we start? In 2016, I set out to create a fashion collection made out of Ankara, what you know as African prints. Testing the market with our samples, I found out that most of the prints that I had bought have been used by other designers, as you can see with the Google search, with over 5 different designers using the same print I had bought. And that was when I also discovered that majority of the prints are not designed by Africans or produced in Africa. Inspired by this quote by Chinua Achebe, until lions have their own historians, tales of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. I set out on an unafraid journey with these 3 questions. How can we create timeless pieces for the revolutionary customer who does not seek trend and who wants originality? How can we create an uncontested market space for our brand in an already saturated fashion market space? And how can we change the narrative of the African print that is mass produced, not produced in Africa or designed by Africans? So, and then Zuri and Imani was born. Zuri and Imani is a surface pattern and textile design studio. We create original pattern designs to create timeless lifestyle products. And we also work with clients in the home, fashion and paper goods industry on licensing and commission works. And so began an exciting, unafraid journey to change the narrative of the African print and be part of the revolution that's growing the African creative economy. So what makes us unique? We tell authentic African stories through our designs, but still retain an awareness of current designs. I'll show you how now. This is Gideon Saraki, inspired by the King's Palace in northern Nigeria. This is Namakwa land, inspired by the flower land in Northern Cape, South Africa. And this is Tombo, inspired by the fishing village in Sierra Leone. So this is the solution we came up with. Design and print our own African prints. It increases our ability to participate in the global market through localization. It also reduces our carbon footprint. We print only what we need, reduce water 80% in energy. And at the moment, we have over 80 pattern designs ready to use in our portfolio. Our second solution is have a niche core product, outerwear. This decreases our barrier of entry in the already saturated fashion market and helps us also to create an uncontested market space for our brand. And then it comes in limited editions, 1/30 for each color. Our second solution is a basic and staple collection, lower entry price. It helps us also deal with waste minimization and also limited editions by about 100, 50, 100. We're still working on that. Our milestone in 2019, we made our first prototype of different coats with our prints, and it was received well. And so we officially launched in 2020. But before we did, because of the prototype we did, we were noticed by Mr. Price Home, who invited us for a blanket collab and a beach cooler collab. And also we got our first grant funding of 100,000 Rand from Investec Bank. So that was what we used to officially launch in 2020. We made only one style in 7 different Zuri and Imani prints, but our growth was interrupted by COVID, and I'll tell you the other reasons in 2 more slides. But despite what was happening, we still got an award for most innovative business case from the City of Cape Town and Cape Clothing and Textile Cluster. We also got the Textile Makers Meal Award, and we also won another grant fund of 25,000 Rand. Now, that was what we used to relaunch in 2023. So what I was saying about why I think we didn't make it is because we didn't have variety and it wasn't inclusive. So this time we had a variety of styles and included a men's collection and also with different sizes. And it was launched May 9th, our online store. We had 7 orders, total of 11 products from South Africa, Nigeria, US, UK. Note that clients were aware that our process takes about 1 month. We have to print, we have to produce, and they still bought. And we had a gross sale of about $1,355. But this came with its challenges. Or before that, our major milestone this year is retailing in one of South Africa's top luxury stores in Sandton, in Johannesburg. And we had only sent 9 products with over 80 designers retailing in that store. And in 1 month, we sold 5. And in 2 months, we had 8 products sold. So this showed us that despite being a new brand, we are able to compete aggressively with other long-standing brands. So the challenges. There's a lot of feedback from the store. A lot of clients loved what we had, but they wanted in bigger sizes. They wanted custom made. But the CMT that produces for us are willing to work with in producing small quantities, longer time frame, also finishing. I mean, with what we do, is the craftsmanship is lacking, and also lack of capital means that we're not able to keep up with the momentum to deliver. So we're asking for $150,000 for machinery operation team to get our startup operation off the ground, develop more minimum viable products, learn more about what our customer needs and work on how we can profitably deliver, establish a customer base and market presence, set up processes that we're really lacking in that, accounting, management, strategy, learn how we can also gain a larger market share and find new revenue and profit channel. Our second ask, which is not financial from the investors, is infrastructure that can be leveraged, access to market strategy, work with us to implement best practices for sustainable growth, and most of all, hold us accountable as we build a business that lasts. Our roadmap in 2024, we hope to also be in more luxury stores in Ghana and Nigeria. Also being in the two biggest markets in Cape Town, Biscuit Mill and Waterfront, set up our own production studio. And in 2025, we hope to increase our revenue by 65% and also gain international access into the market. 2026, purchase our own fabric printing machine. We really need that. And launch also a textile retail store where people can also buy textiles that we will design for that. And also launch a homeware paper goods market. Our growth opportunity is limitless. We can be in the home and interior market, dinnerware, textile, homeware, upholstery, even rugs. We've had a collaboration where our designs were put in rugs. Our fashion market also is vast: bags, sneakers, and other, ready to wear. And paper goods, wallpaper, wrapping paper, prints, art prints. Create an experience, have customers who, they can choose what they want and pick their own prints, and then we create what they want. Also, we working with small, medium enterprises, branding, collabs.
Hi, Joy.
At the moment,
Yes.
At the moment, I work with everything's outsourced: printing, pattern making, and production. And me, I do the social media, accounting, admin, website, and everything. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the floor is open for questions. We can ask our questions now. Okay. Eniola.
Hi, Joy. Thanks for
Hi.
the presentation.
Welcome.
I think my question really is just to understand. If I understand how this industry works, I think the first step will really be design. So, have we done a number of designs that we've sold? Because I see that we're going straight into like machinery to go into production. So maybe the first question will really be like, how much designs have we done that tell an African story? And we've been able to sell these designs, because eventually when we transfer them to print, it's still the designs that we're selling. We're just selling them on different surfaces, right?
Yes.
So I guess for me, the question is really to understand the creativity behind the designs, because that's really what we're investing in.
Okay, I'm trying to understand how you mean if we've done a lot of designs already.
Yeah, so if we've done a lot of designs that we have sold already, and then I guess maybe the pipeline flow of these designs, because that's why we
Yes.
buy Ankara fabrics. It's really because of the designs. It's not really the fabric itself,
Yeah. So for the textile design, have over 60 designs already that come in different colors. We've tested it on coats and outerwear, other fashion wear, and we've sold quite a lot since relaunching last year, and that's how we were able to also get into the retail store, the luxury retail store in Sandton, and the feedback had been amazing. I mean, in the first week it was selling, and I was getting calls. We need more of what you have already. So yes, we have product that has been tested and produced, tested in the market, reworked and retested in the market, and with good feedback. Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it pretty much does. Yes.
Okay.
So are we still making more designs, or are we just gonna try and see how we can keep selling these designs on different surfaces?
No, there's room to make more designs. I mean,
Okay.
well, there's like out of the 60, I think I have only used like 5 at the
Oh,
moment.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh, so it's not the
like
60 that we've actually sold in store. We've just
No,
done a
no,
test run
no.
with about 5.
No, just out of the 60, I think I've used just five
Oh, okay.
designs. Yes,
Okay.
and maybe less, but in different like colors. Like
Of
this is
course.
in green, this Gideon Saraki in green, then there's Gideon Saraki in brown, then just yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't used up to 5, I don't think.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And the beauty of it is what I was talking about, the limited edition. This is in green, just 30. After that, you change the color to another, let's say another color like
Mm-hmm.
that, and so it just creates what's that, scarcity. People want it,
Yeah.
it's valuable, they keep it, and then also it's actually signed under it also.
Oh,
You're
okay.
one of 30 that own this, two of 30 that own this in this color, and like that, and then when that is done, then another starts again, yeah, or at the same
Thank
time.
Thanks, Joy. I think that pretty much answered what I was asking.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Precious.
All right.
Hi, Joy. Brilliant
Hi,
presentation. Just a few
thank
questions.
you.
I like
Okay.
that it's niche, but I'm kind of worried about scalability.
Yeah.
If you follow the history, and I'm a millennial, so I'm just trying to think. Growing up, African print came from Holland, and then of
Yeah.
course when the Chinese economy came upon us, right, it disrupted the world global chains, and everybody who used to buy Hollandis from Holland started to buy from China. So I'm kind of, I would really like to see the numbers, how they stack up. I don't know so many people who are not cost conscious, especially in times of hyperinflation, etc. So I'm just a bit worried about scalability. I've heard you say, you have it in a store in Santin. Feedback has been good. I would really have loved to see data in terms of, numbers. What's it costing to produce? How much are we spending? And when do you think you might be breaking even? Questions around, okay, this 150K, how much equity stake is it? But I think for me, I'm just struggling with scalability. And I also say this, yes, I mean, it's cute to say we want to see more African things by Africans, but, we'll somehow also accepted that almost everything I mean, the George, no, there's something that the Igbos wear. I think I'm trying to remember the name. That is not even produced in Nigeria, neither is the George. And somehow we've accepted it as something that is, right? So I'm just wondering, how do we compete? And then if you say that, you're not competing against them because this is niche, and for people that are seeking authentic African designs produced in Africa, that also makes sense. But I would just love to see things around numbers, how we scale, and who are these people? Like, who is the ideal customer? Are they the Africans in the diaspora, or are people living in Africa, struggling? What's the cost per one? I have a lot of questions around costing and how we scale this. Thanks.
I have an Excel sheet already where that is broken down, also the break even. Um, if maybe I send it to you, or do I show it on the presentation again? It's at the last slide, or to I can send it
So
to
maybe, so if it's clear, so we can share it. I believe, is it in the deck?
yes, it's on the deck.
It's on the deck. Okay, we would look
Yes.
at it again, and if we have specific questions that are not answered in it, then we would reach out on that.
Okay,
But I mean, our
but
questions
under
around scale, maybe you
yes.
should just the strategy for scale or the plan for scale.
Okay, let me answer that. We have to start somewhere. It's uh, the Velisco they've had over 100 years to get to this point. And yes, I've thought about that several times. How are we going to scale? How are we going to compete? Because also, when the China one is even so much cheaper. But that entry into that first retail store, so the retail store is just one in Santin. They have two other ones. And we've not even tried to push into other retail stores. That's one. There are several other luxury retail stores in Africa, and then outside of Africa. the thing is that Africa now is like a trend. It's now people want to be part of it. People want to be part of what is happening, and if we can capitalize on that now to push what we have, it's not just about the product. It's also, that's where I talked about strategy coming into play. You know, being able to tell the story of the thing behind, the reason behind the brand, the reason behind the prints, the stories behind the prints. All the prints have a story. All the prints are inspired by something. And then also, it doesn't just stop with me. There are 55 countries in Africa. Imagine activating designers from all 55 countries or 50. So imagine activating designers from every of the country in Africa and getting them to produce, and then starting a whole, tribe from it. So it doesn't just stay with Zuri and Mani, it grows. Then there's prints from Morocco, there's prints from Kenya, and it's just, but it's still part of us, but then it just grows and everybody is still part of it, or they have equity in the whole thing, and then everybody pushes it. I hope I'm making sense, sort of, you know.
Absolutely, you are. I was just leaving a comment, but it's fine. I
Yes.
love the idea, and that's why I'm asking the question I'm asking. I'm also asking because there are a lot of great ideas, but if we don't think everything through, sometimes it just ends up being a very great idea. Everyone is excited, and then yeah. But I like that you're speaking about aggregating. I think you're onto something there. That has to be how one of the ways that we scale. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I think my comfort level has moved up. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Sorry,
right, thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, what do we still have time, Bolu? But I think you need to speak to the funding. What is the funding going to be deployed into? And I mean, maybe we should have given a heads up ahead of time, but we kind of like to use numbers. So if you're saying 150K, 20% goes here, this goes here. So it's almost like people can visualize what you are, the direction that you are going, and then the stake. So if you get 150K, what are you giving us 100% of the company or 1% of the company?
Well, 150K, I would like to give 5% of the company. The how is going to be spent is broken down. It's also on the slide. It was at the end. Yeah, I put it at the end. I've broken it down how the money is going to be spent. The 150K, the machinery, trademarking, overhead, production, strategy, PR, accounting, legal, all that. I can also send that. I know they were, Sorry. I saw somebody's comment. What's the present valuation of the company? I haven't valued the company as of now. Yes.
So I think that's important, right? Again, and I'll tell you why I put that out. I just got out of another meeting where we've gone through a very good idea, and now we're all in court because the valuation thing wasn't thought through, and now it's looking like the founder was not being exactly honest ab initio. So we're suing him, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think there's still some important work. For example, I'm not going to put any money anymore because I've learned from that into something where I'm not sure what the value. So 150K, 5%. How did that math happen? I would like some clarity for sure. That's just me. Yeah. Thanks.
We don't have assets and we don't have debts at the moment. All we have is our designs of over 80 designs, which is valued about, I don't know that's in dollars, but like 25,000 Rand per design. That's what we have at the moment, but no assets, no debts. It's just been growing organically.
Yeah, you would need someone in the team now that you're seeking funding, right? You need someone in the team who can do. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, but there needs to be some sort of, preliminary valuation. Just so that you can also justify why it's 5%, for example, unless of course there's some explanation that you want to give. Why is 150K equal 5% of the company at the moment?
Yeah, that was also why I said to be honest, I'm new in startup funding and all that, and I would like advice and clarity and on a lot of things, because I'm I know what we have is a mine that I also have not even like thought about how far we can go, or how I'm thinking it might not be how far, and then somebody comes in and said this is how far we can go. So yes, I'm open to guidance, and so that I can take this company from good to great. And then, so it's not just one person just thinking about everything. I have a certain skill, but there's some skills I also don't have, which you probably have, somebody has, and then they bring it, and then you say, oh, okay, Joy, this is what needs to be done if you want to take the company from here to there. So I am open to guidance and advice. Yes, please.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Joy. Wait, sorry, let me take. Online was going to say something, and then once Online is done, we would call it a day. Like we have to have a hard stop because we have other people in queue. But thank you and well done, Joy.
Thank you. There's a lot of questions in the message, please. Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, a lot of questions, and we probably can't take them because we're having a pitch day, so people are coming back to back. So what we will do is that we will take note of the questions and send them to you, and then communicate your responses to them in the community, and then we'll take it from there. Olaimi next. Olaimi, go ahead. It seems like Olaimi is not here. We'll take Olaimi's question later.
Can I
Thank you,
ask
Joy.
one question? One last. Maybe you
Right,
can
let
let
me
me
know.
know. But I've just seen aggregating. Okay, Olaimi is here.
Sorry. What I was saying is that I don't want to emphasize this evaluation thing, but if you haven't done evaluation, I don't think you should be pitching percentages to what you're asking, because if you say you haven't done evaluation but you're asking for 150K for 5%, it makes it sound like you haven't thought it through. So until you have done a proper valuation of the company, I don't think you should be putting numbers to it, because I don't know, for me, for instance, personally, it's a turn off for me when you say you're asking for 150K for 5%, and then I'm asking you how you've done your valuation, and then you can give me correct answers. And then when you're saying you have about 80,000 designs that are worth about 25K. So 5% at 150K, if my math is correct, is $3 million valuation of your company. I don't see it. So if you're going to be asking for evaluation, I think you should come straight and do evaluation before you start doing the ask. And they would now do like a back mathematics thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Yemi, for the yes, that's why I had said earlier, I am open to advice. I'm open because this is a new step I'm going into, and I am open to guidance from investors. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joyce. Joy, rather.
Yes.
We will get back to
Joy.
you. We'll also ask you we'll send the questions to you. There are a couple of questions in the chat room, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So guys, so the 25K run, the reason why I have brought her in, because I have seen her work. I don't think she really presented herself well. But one thing that she has done that I thought was really cool is that she designs so let's say you have like a product that you want to sell. It would design the packaging of the product for you. And I've seen some designs that she has done for different like product brands, right? And they were amazing, right? And they were not just the word is not even amazing, but they were like flawless. When I say this thing could be anywhere in the world, right? And so when I heard that she was doing the race, I'm like, okay, let's hear. And she has actually been very sincere. So the answers that she even came here with is because I'm sorry, Mad, you don't have this, you don't have that. But there's a limit to how much I would carry you. Yourself, go and carry yourself, do you get? And all that. But I would say that I think she's at an early stage type. If you're interested in it, you are taking a risk, like angel investor type thing. I don't necessarily think it's a let's gather money together and do because this play of hand holding. So you must literally be vested in it for you to like you must really be able to sit down with her and say, okay, let's put this structure in place, let's do that, let's you get that kind of hand holding. And that's like an angel investor thing. So even her 5%, just ditch that because the person that will work with her on this and make it grow has to get a bigger stake. But she doesn't understand. You see that matter like me just did. She doesn't understand. She just feels like I don't want to give out too much. That's it. That's the only thing that she's saying. Anila, go ahead.
So I mean, I think for me as well, I also feel like she doesn't really, I mean, the whole Ankara story, I get it, but like I think Tony mentioned in the chat, what she's really selling is her designs. I say it because there's someone similar in Lagos. I try to dabble into um making fabrics, and you buy your designs off her. I don't know if anybody knows Pulse Gaia. It was like a very popular design in the UK by a Nigerian. Someone made the design for her and sold it to her, and she just made like gazillions from it. So really and truly, that's what she's really selling. It's not, I'm going here. It's not really, yeah, so I think she needs to just see the potential of her business beyond the whole story of the Ankara design. What she's just really selling
Is
is
her
she's selling
design. Yeah.
African art on
Yeah.
different surfaces. That's it. So it can be
Exactly.
anything, paper, textile, anything at
And
all.
she probably
And
should
it
not go
means
into
that
production.
Exactly. She shouldn't be aiming to go into production yet, because the truth is that she can produce it. You can sell your designs to anyone and they can produce it in China for you.
IP. Yeah.
You don't have to be the one to buy the fabric and buy the machinery to do the production. I mean, and then having said all of that, it means that we're investing in her creativity. That's really what it is. So the day she's
Yes.
tired and she
IP.
decides that, you know what, my creative juices are weak, I mean, it's what it is, right? And I like how you really said it. It's angel investor type thing. Like the risks are high, but the potentials are enormous as well.
Yeah.
It's Africa. Everybody wants to be a part of our story now. So there's that thing we can also milk. We can milk that at the moment as well.
At the moment, yeah. I also do think that if I was to go into it, I would be IPing her design, right? And then the legal structure will be that anybody that is doing using the design can use it for a certain period, and then after that, oh, sorry for the background noise, somebody's chasing me here. Um,
I mean,
but
some people
I
can
will be
even
IPing
buy
that
it.
and
Like you can buy the design, she can give it to you. She can, and then that's of course that's a lot of money, because you now buy the design, you can do and undo as you want. And she can have a design and sell it to multiple people if you don't mind. She may just change the color, like she rightfully said. It's the same design, but in different colors. Maybe she decides, okay, I'm only going to sell this design. I mean, I've seen some of her stuff from her page. To be very honest, the creativity was very mind blowing, using like
yeah, yeah,
African um things to create a picture. Honestly speaking, I would never have that depth of creativity. I didn't even see it coming. But yeah, I
yeah.
think it's really
She's actually
selling. She
very
does need a
creative.
lot of hand holding for sure.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Olaimi, you want to speak before we move on to the next person? Okay, hello. Olaimi, you want to say something?
Sorry, I thought I was mute. I was unmuted. Sorry, I said a lot of things. Anyway, I said, who's up for hand holding? Because we said a lot of things like the designs are good and all that. I see the designs are good, and that's why I decided to say, where are you getting $3 million from? Do you understand? When you're telling me your designs are worth 25K, right? So me, I'm an investor. I want to make money, right? And I've seen potential in this business, and I see I can get in for cheap, and we can scale it. All those production thing is too much wahala, right?
Production is not it. Yeah.
You can have like a small, like a all those startup, like a building to say, okay, like everybody knows that you have a design, like a showroom type thing, and then but what we are selling is design.
It's
So
design.
my question is that we've said all this, somebody has come to pitch. So what's the next step? Me, I'm interested. So who is up for
Who are the
handhold?
people that are interested in the hand holding?
Mhm. And then
Okay.
so we can get in now before she goes somewhere else to go and speak. And so at least we know what's going on. What are we going to talk to her about next? Because going into production it's going in another tangent where
Yeah, it's a waste of time and energy.
waste of time and energy. So before
Bros
she goes,
Tony is there.
Okay.
Bros Tony is saying his game. But maybe we'll do our accurate timekeeper is working hard. So I think I like this conversation. I like the direction of the conversation. What we will do, I mean, because it's very important for people to understand that there's going to be a lot of hand holding. You need to even have a legal structure around decision making, because you cannot leave decision making to her, leave creativity to her, but not decision making. Because I have a channel for Z and I. We've not have we created? Yes, we have. Well, yeah. So the reason why I wouldn't want to go there, because I didn't feel like it was a general, let's just drop money like the other ones and just be tracking. This one is like hand holding. So people need to understand that you're not just dropping money, you're going to be present. You're going to commit time, you're going to get on calls, you're going to make calls for her, because you can't just if you're going to take a big stake, because you should ask for a big stake, right? Then you have to be present. You can't just drop money and go. Do you get? It's not the other one where there's a little bit more structure, right? So we will continue the conversation in the channel. I believe. And if anyone is interested and not yet in the channel, please let us know. We'll add you to the channel. Over to you, Bolo.
All right, thank you so much. Welcome, Shayo. So we have Shayo here, and she'll be pitching for East West Love movie. So are you ready? You can share your screen and go ahead. Oh, she left the meeting. Why? Please, you can signify on Slack if you want to be added to Zuri and Imani channel. I'll add everyone that wants to be added.
Please indicate your interest on Slack preferably, so it doesn't get lost in this, because she will not be able to attend to it. She might not be able to attend to it right now. So it's better to drop it on Slack so that it can be treated. So if you don't see a heart by your whatever, it means she hasn't seen it. And once she adds you to the channel, then she'll put a heart to your request. Is the lady back? No. Hmm.
I think it's network. She's trying to join actually.
She's joined, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, we can hear you.
I apologize. I think my network is having some issues.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Folashayo. I'm here to pitch East Love. It's a Nigerian Kenyan rom-com. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can see. And just walk through the slides real quick. If that's okay. Share.
Is it my network? I can hear.
Yeah. Yes, see my screen.
Yes, we can. We can see your screen.
Hi everyone. Again, my name is Shayo. I'm a co-founder at First Production. And I'm just here to speak our East-West rom-com called East-West Love. I'm just going to run through real quick because I'm behind time. The film, we're trying to focus on a very captivating story that focuses on cultural exchange, identity, and human connections, and also want to tell the story we feel would appeal to both local and international audience as well. So just straight to the line of the film, the rom is very format in its concept. It's, our lead, her name is Tifa. She just had a recent heartbreak. She reluctantly decides to embark on an East African adventure and find a different kind of love and self-discovery. That's a big story. So just to run quickly, the themes are comedy, romance, and drama. And I'm just going to touch on the synopsis. So, for the synopsis, I typically have cross shows in our deck that just kind of gives a sense of the kind of film and the dialogue and the style we're going for. So, East West Love is kind of like a mashup of if you've seen any film, either Forgotten Sarah Marshall or Resort to Love or just go with it. It had the same type of like style and pacing. And almost all the films happen in like a resort with a new love and discovery. So the brief synopsis is she's very spirited and adventurous. She's a very exciting young woman, and she's been dating her boyfriend for a couple of months, and like a year, and it's their anniversary. She decides to like surprise him with a trip to Nairobi, but she found out that he has been cheating on her. So she reluctantly tried to get her money back from the travel agent and finds out that it's one of those tickets that once you buy, you have to go on this trip. You can't get your money back. So her friend convinces her that they should go on this trip together and decide to the beautiful city of they decide to fly to East Africa, Kenya, typically Mombasa. Can you hear me? I just have the sound said my audio is very clear.
Your network. Can you speak now? Yes, we can hear you, but your voice is not so clear.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can try turning off your video. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that might help. It's a bit shaky.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, you can try to speak now.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is this better?
I think it's much better.
Okay. So Tita embarks on this journey with a friend, and she finds a new relationship in this 7 days journey at the resorts, which seems almost like a rebound in a way, but it also has some sense of meaning to her. But in the process, she finds out that even this person that she meets in East Africa has some secrets. So she's heartbroken again for the second time and flies back to Nigeria. And like this East African guy comes after her to come and like profess his love. However, because she's been dating this other guy for a while, and she has it makes a lot more sense in terms of his hair. She's known him longer. She's a bit conflicted, but then just like every format rom-com, girl meets boy, the issues, the fighting, and then figuring out a way to make amends and make a very tough decision, which is typically prioritizing herself and what she feels is best for her. So that's it in a nutshell. So Rom-coms are typically format, but then what kind of differentiates this particular rom-com is because we're doing a match between West and East Africa. We want to do we're trying to explore some cultural clashes, how Nigerians are a bit like, pushy and East Africans are a bit laid back. And I guess we're going to be shooting against a very beautiful coast that's in Mombasa, and just exploring exploring the life of Tito as she finds herself, walks through like her emotions and her self-discovery in the process of this journey as well. So that's it that's the synopsis of the story. So I just say a little bit about ourselves. My name is, like I said at the beginning, I'm Folashayo. I'm a co-founder of Just Productions with my partner, Bill Ashobo. I used to be an investment banker, resigned in 2013 to focus on the creative space. We initially, when we got into this space, we were very into brand storytelling, so commercials and documentaries, sorry. But then in 2016, we gravitated into narratives with our collaboration with UBA's Red TV to create the series Inspector K, which we've run for 3 seasons now, and it has been very, very successful. So that's us. So we are focused on we kind of shifted also from just brand storytelling and gradually going into the narrative space. So we're telling scripted and unscripted stories. That's us. And for this particular film, the way we work at Sus Productions, we're not very us do everything. We always like to collaborate with creatives that we feel would be best fit for the different projects that we're working with. And for this particular project, we're working with a producer called Dolapo Adeleke. Dolapo Adeleke is popularly known as Lola D. She's a very well-known producer and director, and she's won the TMWC twice, one for Best Series, the other for Best East African Film. So she has a very good understanding of the East African market, how to film there in terms of the right cast, the right crew, and we feel like she'll be best fit working with us and ensuring that we can create this, because we're not just going to be filming in Lagos, we're going to be filming in Mombasa as well. And then we just have a kind of like here, just a snapshot of some of the brand storytelling, like some of the clients that we've worked with in the past, just so you can have an understanding of what we've done. And then also some of our scripted shows, including Inspector K. We have short films, Grief and Redo, and then the INA short film that was selected as one of the best shots for AFRIF in 2022. Now I'm just gonna go real quick to some of the actors that we're considering, because it's East-West love, right? We're looking at an East African mix. Yes.
Yeah, your time is already up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Yeah, you want to go straight to the part of the investments. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I didn't get what you said earlier.
Oh, I said
yeah. Go ahead. Just run through quickly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just some of our lead film guy Teresa as East African. He's crossed over to Hollywood and has done a couple of things, including Mayfair and Transformers, and he's agreed to be the lead on this film. Shine Rosman as the lead lady, and FIWR and Beverly Usu as our supporting cast. We're working with an East African director. Her name is Seko Shante. She's very well known in East Africa. She has a very, very good eye for storytelling, which is one of the reasons why we want to work with her on this particular film. Okay, this is in USD. We're looking at our total budget for the film is $198,000. And we're looking to, our timeline for the project is, we're looking to film in September, and we're hoping to lock distribution between December and April. We're looking to raise $120,000 for 50% equity in the film, 50% equity stake. And our minimum equity, minimum investment we're looking at is $5,000 as a minimum investment. We're hoping to lock this finish up this entire process not more than 18 months, ensuring that we work within an 18 months window, hopefully less, because sometimes this distribution can be tricky, but we're trying to work within an 18-month window from when we produce the film in September to when we finally distribute. Yes, and we're not looking at cinema because we're looking to ensure certainty in our revenue. So we're looking to license our film to a streamer that will Netflix or Amazon. And some of the key milestones we have is that we've secured a partnership with the Kenyan Film Commission. We're also looking at two partners, the Resource and Kenyan Airways, and we've also locked all our major casts. So that is it in summary. I hope I was able to run through real quick and you're able to hear me. Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that. The floor is open for questions. I can see Omolade's hand raised. Omalade, please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your presentation. Just a quick question about your plans for Netflix. Do you already have something in the works? Do you already have links to Netflix? And is Netflix your only streaming platform that you're looking at, or just the first?
Yes, so we're currently working with Moses Babaktawe on this film. He's our aggregator. So he's commenced conversations with both Amazon and Netflix about the film. We're one of the reasons why I think I mentioned Netflix first, because we actually know that they are very open to Kenyan content at the moment and paying higher. So the fact that this is a Nigerian Kenyan crossover kind of puts us in a very good position to put this forward and probably get a very good deal from them as well. So yes, we have an aggregator that's helping us have the conversations already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any more questions?
So I have a question. How much have you raised so far? What's outstanding? And how much equity contribution are you guys bringing on the table?
Okay, so we're looking to raise 120. For the total budget is 196. We're only looking to raise 120 because we've already raised part of the we already have the other part of the budget. So we're just using to raise $120,000 extra for 50% equity.
Okay. So just to be clear, so what that means is that are you saying your contribution is 70K or that you've raised from other sources?
No, our contribution.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then okay. And then what happens if you don't raise the full amount?
Well, to be honest, the policy we have is we definitely won't go into the budget. We want to spend and
your line is breaking badly.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I said ideally we won't start until we have the full budget. So we're hoping to try and lock that down within the time frame we have before September 16th, which is when we want to start filming. But we have the complete, so we don't start something and finish before we actually start filming.
Okay, fair enough. Does anybody else have questions? Okay, Amalade, go ahead.
Hi. I was going to ask about IP rights. If we will have any IP rights apart from the 50% for the movie and music or whatever it is that is available.
Yeah, that we can definitely discuss that. Like I can make that decision off the top because my partner. But then yes, we can definitely we can answer that and make that we can make some questions that if that's
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Another final question, I guess, because I don't think there are that many questions. Are you flexible on your offer? What I mean by that is you are offering you are requesting for 150K for 50%.
Yes.
And I presume that that is after you would have paid all the distribution fees, blah blah blah, and paid the actors back end and all those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's profit you are referring to
Yes.
for the 50%, right? Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, are you flexible or is that cast in stone?
So to be honest, when we put the figures together, we actually were looking for what would actually cover the budget. So we're being flexible about the percentage or flexible about the amount.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry, maybe my network.
I said, are you asking about if flexible about the percentage, that amount for more percent or that amount for I just wanted from flexibility in the amount or the percentage.
Oh, no, that's what you need to cover. You need 150K to deliver on the. You need more 50K, right? But I'm saying the 50% offer is that cast in stone.
Yes. Yes, kind of cast in stone. It's 120 actually, 150.
Oh, 120. Sorry, my math.
Yes.
Sorry, 20. Okay.
154, 50%. Yes.
120 for 50%. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It seems like there are no other questions. So the way we work is that we'll have a discussion, have a conversation around it, and then we'll revert if people want to take it further. And
Okay.
to what extent also. Well, thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you so much for
you. Thank you so
coming
much.
and
I
spending time
apologize
with
for
us.
the network issue. I apologize.
Network,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
it's out of our hands. We understand. So thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, what do we think? Why is everybody so quiet? We had more questions for the other guys. What are we thinking? I like
I
the
think for
story though.
me,
Mhm.
I like
Go
the
ahead.
story. It's very eat, pray, lovish.
Mm,
They seem to have gotten quite the cast. I'm going to have to sit with it. I'm not quite sure why something is off for me. But yeah, but that's just me. Another thing I think I would have liked, and maybe just some advice, again, information that helps me is I like concrete data. So it would have been really great if she could put some numbers around her past work. You know, she said they've done the stream. So you hear people say a lot of it's doing very well. It's done very well. Very well is so
yeah,
relative. It doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. So what is very well? So it's helpful because for me, a compelling presentation is I've done this. This is my track record. I've done and numbers, numbers, not very well. When I see that, it helps me. But when it's up in the air, it's very
It's very
difficult for me
difficult.
to make decisions like that. So that's why I struggle. Yeah.
Very valid. Very valid. Very valid. Anybody else? I saw someone raise a hand.
No, I wanted to thumbs up to what she
Oh,
said. Like that's so
mm.
valid. I mistakenly raised up
Oh,
my
okay.
hand.
Okay. Okay. And then for me, right? I mean, because I have been interacting with a couple of these distributor type people, one of the reasons why it not like it looked good, let me not say it looked good, but I gave it a second thought, is because um based on data, I know Netflix is looking for a lot of rom-com type things, and they're looking for a lot of cross-culture things, right? The only thing is that if you are doing a 190K budget, what are you planning to sell to Netflix for? Right? Those are the considerations. How much are you planning to? So what's the return on this risk that we are taking? Because I dare say, is it my math? Yeah, 190K is a lot. Even though I understand why it is that, because things are cost. But I know that that genre is good, and then the Niger Kenya thing is also a good one. Um, but I wasn't sure of the numbers. I just said, well, let's hear first and let's see if there's anything that will pull us into it and all that. Because even after so she's going through someone to do the distribution, that person is going to get this a percentage flat Bam.
Exactly. So what's
Mm,
that person getting? So the thing is, the devil is always in the details.
yeah.
So many good ideas, one new one every minute. But the devil is in the details. How are they distributing? And then what do they determine as profit? I said this because I shared earlier. I'm going to a very interesting, there's also the integrity of I mean, I can say that. There's also the integrity of the players, right? So and then they tell you that, oh, it's profit you're going to share. How do we determine what is profit? You'll be surprised what some founders do just to make sure that they hide stuff and then you don't get stuff. So for me, it would be nice to see a flow so that if I put X amount, I know that again, there's of course the element of risk,
Risk.
but at least I also understand the risk because I mean, you can actually also gain money or lose money, that sort
Mm,
of thing. So yeah.
mm.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, in terms of feedback, right? Is it something where we want to ask more questions, or is it something where, nah, don't waste your time?
No, I think ask more questions. Definitely. I like the story. I mean, I like rom-com, so yeah, so I might watch it, right? So I like the story, it's great. But I would really like as much details as possible. It
Mm,
will help me, yeah, in particular to know, okay, so we give 120K. Again, I liked the question on are we going to get any are we just giving 150 and then the share profit and that's it? Or do we continue to profit from the movie, which will be very exciting as long as
mm.
it continues to stream? That will be
Yeah,
very exciting. So what? Yeah. So definitely more details, I would say.
more details, more details. Okay. Um, so yeah, this brings us to the end of our pitch day. I think we had like interesting from feedback. There was one time that we did this, and I think we brought like 6 people. And the conclusion was that there was just not enough time to have these discussions in between. And so we brought it down to 3. Um, but then I do think that they have been interesting from different angles. And I want to say thank you to everyone for joining the call. The only other thing that I wanted to discuss is Eurobonds. Please, if you're a Eurobond committer here, can you just show by hand if you are? Um, because I see class captain, chief noisemaker, blah blah blah. I see all of them here. Um, but I would like to hear people's thoughts. In my personal opinion, right? Personal opinion. The please don't lie me, Tony. I hope people are listening to me because you are the efficos. Me, I'm just learning work. You understand? Um, so my concern is in speaking with offshore guys, the the most attractive investment is the most attractive paper is Nigeria, right? Now, I personally think that Kenya is in a very dicey situation right now. This their social unrest thingy, it will not affect. I'm not even worried about real estate. The people that have property, I'm not even worried about it because is that one real estate is always good, right? Except if they go into all out war bombing. If they don't do all that, if you are in central Nairobi, you are fine. I'm not worried about real estate. But it is their social unrest and their debt profile and their tax situation. If they don't fix it and fix it in a sane way, because the people are empowered, I know that if they come out, everybody will calm down. It has created, and which is what they try to kill in people's minds with how they killed NSAS. The fact is that when you believe that you can fight and win, it creates a precedence for the next fight and win, right? Which why do we need to get to fight and win? People listen. I give for another day, right? However, there is a massive debt problem that Kenya does have right now. They have a massive debt problem, and the likelihood of default if they don't manage this their social unrest thing with the next maturity is higher, and that is in reality. That's Kenya. So I'm not falling back to Kenya. I'm not going to do Kenya bond. Move that on our side. Um, Angola. The reason why the offshore guys. I hope you guys are listening to my English show because also my video.
Yes.
I'm managing internet.
Yeah.
Angola is what the trader said was like he's not keen on Angola because, from his own words, Angola has a posture where they don't send investors. So they can't guarantee that even though they have the money, they will not default. That was his answer.
Yeah, they've been screwed. They've been
Yes,
screwed before.
exactly.
Mm.
So it actually does bring us back to Nigeria. However, you see that our government, me right now, with all the foolish policies that are coming up, because for example, this whole tax thing that they say they want to make money from the government, from banks, right? Um, yes, they would get that short-term win. But as an investor, right? As an investor, I think it is a very foolish thing to do because you would collect the money for today. But the question, but exactly, I see that. But then the question is long term, which is what we are trying to do. These guys have 6 years left. What new chaos are they going to create? Such that right now, I am not really entirely excited about Eurobonds. And this is me putting it out there. And I know Yemi will say, oh, like you've been dragging feet on this. And I've been dragging feet. Why? Because we don't have capital. What time we don't have capital? I've traded, I've lost money, I've cut 1 billion loss, meaning that I have a position, the loss is 1 billion, I will sell and I'll go to bed and I will sleep well. Yeah, drink water and forget it the following day. Because if you remember the loss of yesterday, you cannot make profits tomorrow. That's it. So you see, as a finance, I have mind. Don't used to do me. But I understand when you gather money together, and you pack your 10K and you go and drop it in an investment, and we say, okay, guys, I think we need to cut our losses right now. For you to cut your loss as an individual investor, you have to post cash. You have to actually, you're going to lose money. Do you understand? So I am not very excited though. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not very excited about this Eurobond, but it's my job to execute and to structure transactions for you. So if you guys are legit, I'm happy to, and I mean, it's something that if we're just doing like 5K, right? 5K, yeah, maybe we can wing it and forget about it, that kind of thing. But you have to gather yourselves up to 20K. Yeah, I'm not very excited though, because if you gather 20K, I think it will pay me. That's why I'm talking. Because 20K in this Buhari economy, I really bad economy, for the most of us that are in Nigeria, it's not really that you've gathered that money. You need to clap for yourself. You understand? So this is just putting it out there, right? And you're like, you have a thought. You raise your hands first, then Laimi, you can go on.
Okay, thanks, Ola. I think my question was just clarity. Are we talking about NGN Eurobonds? I'm sorry, FGN Eurobonds or corporate Eurobonds or everything? Because I feel like, obviously what you're speaking to in terms of instability and macro would really apply to FGN Eurobonds. But then there are
Yes.
other opportunities around corporate. So isn't that something to explore, even if it's buying off the secondary market?
No, we're buying on the secondary market. The problem is this.
Okay, so
if I put up an offer for Access has a perpetual bond that we can jump in and
yeah,
jump out of. I think it's only Access. If you check well, all the other Nigerian
Fidelity
companies, their bonds,
doesn't
as Fidelity not
Fidelity have?
matured. No,
Okay, I
Fidelity is
don't
not
know. I have
matured,
to
or
check.
it's not trading. Like it's quarter to
Okay,
mature. If it's not mature, it's quarter to mature. So
okay.
and that's a sign, because a lot of Nigerian companies are not issuing euro bonds. Why? Because they don't want that dollar obligation, if you get what I mean. So if you want to buy Nigeria, and even the traders, even if you want to exit, right, the best, the most liquid, the most active are the Nigerian bonds. But a trader would say that, and you say with full chairs, because number one, he has capital. And I know the way these things are. If risk management says cut your loss, you're gonna cut it and you're gonna go to bed and you'll be fine. It's not your money. You understand? That's why they post capital. That's why they do capital adequacy ratio. That's what it is there for. It's a war chest that you can draw on when you need to. Your only job is make sure that you win more than you lose. That is the job of a trader. But that you won't lose money in that you're joking. As an individual, I'm not really of that mind. You understand? That's just me. Mm-hmm. Olayemi, over to you.
Okay. I like to take some risk, right? And my own question to you is, what's the worst that can happen, right? They will default on Eurobond payment. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they default on Eurobond payment, it's not going to be only Eurobond that will be affected. It will be all over the place. It will eat into everything. And my question to you right now is, in terms of debt payments and as per exposure to Nigeria, what is priority? What are they prioritizing first to pay?
So I would say that I won't use local bond. I won't put local and offshore bonds in the same category because Nigeria has a special situation. Now we don't have as much offshore obligations as we used to for local. That means our FGM bonds. So if you say, you know, the way Ghana bonds, when they had issues, they're like, okay, you default on the foreign bond, and you now default on the CD, on the local bond and stuff, and then you have to do your negotiations, blah 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 blah. That's the Nigeria campaign scenario. The fact is that Nigeria is not in that kind of bad situation. However, let me tell you what is making me uncomfortable. I would generally say that their priority is to pay offshore, guys. But I think they don't understand what they are doing. So
They don't understand what they are doing, so they're very, very particular about what perception that they give the guys out there. So they create a facade that everything is going on nicely, and they'll continue to pay those guys. And that's where my own selfishness comes from. As long as they're paying those guys, I'm hedged. If anything crumbles out there, then it affects everybody, including local. That's
okay.
And that's why I won't expose myself to a whole lot of local business. But once it's that effect, I know that they're very, very particular about the kind of picture they paint of the country and all that. And if there's $10, they rather give those guys $9 and share the $1 and then
So you want to roll
decide
with
on
the
how
big
to
boys?
tax everything. Anyway, well, me and James, I don't know.
But you have a point though. You actually have a point because that was what the trader was saying, that Nigeria has a bigger balance sheet, that he's not as worried about Nigeria as Kenya or as an Angola. However, let me tell you, my own is maybe because I'm talking from a treasury balance sheet perspective, and I know how if you make a balance sheet error, you might unintentionally appear where you don't plan to be. That is where I'm coming from. Not that they will intentionally carry themselves there. Do you
I
understand?
understand what you're saying. And then the truth is that the guys that are out there, the offshore guys, are not stupid. They can tell you that they're building a mirror balance sheet according to what's going on in the country. They're not stupid. And they know that if anything happens, if anything should pop, they will pay them first. And then Nigeria is very, very particular about the giant of Africa perception and putting it out there that everything is okay, build the oil production to 2.1 million and all that. They are very, very particular about rubbing the ego of the people out there than actually treating their people nicely.
And fixing
The
things.
the thing that will happen is probably more people taxes. They know that people will hardly protest. You can quote me, hardly protest. They will protest and they quash it. And then they will pay taxes, they will tax them, and they will ever pay that money off and exchange it and pay those guys. They will rather pay those guys. That's my own personal opinion.
You have a point.
For Kenya, you see, because I was looking at the two cases side by side. In Kenya, Kenya's tax rate, right? The guy was going to use the money for something else to kill a fire. And those guys came out en masse. And then the guy backtracked. If you look at the so-called oil subsidy, it doesn't exist. Do you understand? They are paying tons and tons of cash as subsidy. They just put the money at the landed price of petrol is over 1,000. You understand?
And also, where is that money coming from that they're using to pay the traders that are bringing in the oil rather? So there's a lot of things that are very, very shady and dodgy. However, I will still bet on Nigeria, and I will still bet on that Euro bond because I know that on the priority list they will pay me first before they pay the
Before they
locals.
pay Naira.
Yep.
You have a point, actually. You have a point. But I think the reason why I needed to put this out there is because the next thing I'm actually going to do is um push it out. Like let's start paying for it. But it was also important for me to put the caveat out there. Um, Unfortunately, I couldn't do 5K. We can't do 5K to get to 200K. That is a long journey. Do you understand? And that's the reality. And even from the experience with Kunda, right? Just the gathering together of it is hard work, right? And so it's almost like, okay, guys, if we're going to go into this thing, we're going into it. I would have preferred if we were doing smaller amounts, right? But Alaimi does have a point, and this argument, this thing I'm saying out here is what I was talking to the trader about. And the guy is even a Niger guy. The last person I spoke with that actually said, Ola, you are just your own on our side offshore, is based in Spain. Like offshore, as an offshore investor, that he can go to bed with Nigeria, that just give it time, you're going to make your money back. That is his thought. But as a balance sheet trader, I know that these people can carry us where we don't know. And it's not because they wanted to go there. They just were too drunk to realize they were going to fall off the cliff. That's the way it is. But yeah, just putting it out there. If you guys want to
So
go ahead, we're happy
one
to go
second
ahead.
again. In trading, right? In trading, and from my own experience, it spans all industries, all sectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that make the crazy money, are the people that take the risk and see the diamond in the rough, right? There's certain countries that like a BP will not go into, right? To go and do business because of all their internal, before they go to risk and all that.
Yeah.
There's certain places like a Vitol or a Trafigura will go into and they will milk the place and make tons of money. And then you see how much profit that will make at the end of the day. So you just basically look at the risk. And I'm telling you that for Nigeria, in terms of the offshore, there's a high risk of default, right? High risk of default. But the default is not going to come from defaulting on offshore. If they default on offshore exposure, they're going to default, the country is going to go up in flames. Once they start to default. That's my own opinion.
Okay. The bossmen have spoken. Oh. The bossmen have spoken.
No,
I
boss
have
man,
like
no,
I
it's my
said.
personal opinion.
No, the bossman has spoken. The bossman has spoken. I mean, Tosh is also here. Tosh, you're quiet. You have to talk. Oh. You have to talk.
I'm always quiet now.
No. It's when you have to talk. You are part of the promoters, quiet promoters of this Eurobond movement.
No, but I think I'm Wale as well. I mean, at the end of the day, what are the alternatives that won't have some level of risk? And I agree that the government will probably do all it can to hold that front. And so, I mean, while yes, I get your point on the risk and them, there's a possibility that they will take us where we don't know. But I think when I rank the risk, I think it's still the safer way.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll push out on it by this week. We'll push out on it by this week. What else? Yeah, that's it. If you invested in Techidia, sorry, there's been a lot of back and forth with our contract. ARM just sent me an email asking to make an adjustment to the subcontract. So we are probably going to recall the contracts we sent out to you. If you want me to be, if you want to choke me, just bring ARM near me. I will strangle you because I have tried. And my
Sorry,
patience has
hold
been
on.
tested. Yes, I'm listening.
See, I think you should just take another poll in terms of the Eurobond, whether people are in and out. You understand? So at least we know
Okay.
whether we have
Yeah. I'll do that in the channel. Very valid. Very valid. Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Thank you for that. I think that's all the contracts, all that we are really pushing to not be owing anybody subcontracts and stuff. Omalade, go ahead.
Sorry, the contract you're talking about, is it the one that has been coming in Tommy's name?
Yes.
Okay. Because then you said Tommy was no longer with us. So I was like,
And she sent it ahead now. When did I job?
yeah,
You
you
did not
have to
sign
be
contract
checking
when
these
it was
things.
supposed
So
to be
ha,
signed. You did
I
not
did.
sign something when it was supposed to
It
be
was
signed.
there was no signal.
There was no. It's after you now see that Tommy is not. When did you get the contract?
It was
You
like
got this thing.
3 days before.
Yes, because those are things you get to finish before she goes. That's
Gotcha.
like tables. Anyway,
Thanks.
yeah. Thank you guys so much. I think this was a good session. We will take further for the Zuri and Imani. We would do like, if you are interested in hand holding, like you have to be present. I don't think more than 4 people. I don't think more than 5 max-ish. I don't think. And then you can be a block and ask for a stake, whatever it is, because you can't quantify the time you're going to spend. You're going to have serious conversations with her. That's for that. For the other guy, what is it? Something love it. What's the name of the app? Sorry, I can't remember. There's one it at the end. Live it Abi. I think there's a live it. We would ask if people are want to go ahead, and then we'll see what we can reach from them. And then the movie also, people seemed a little quiet around the movie. We would ask more questions and drop it, and then we can take it from there. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bring
you.
your
Bye,
money. Join
Tony.
us.
Happy partying. It's your
Hola,
cap.
bring your money. Join us.
I will chat to you. I will chat to you. Bye.
Bye.